Hello and welcome into the RotoWire Fantasy Soccer Podcast. I am Andrew Laird, Senior Soccer Editor of RotoWire, joined on this Monday, May 17th by Jordan Cooper to talk about some midweek Premier League action. Jordan, we have three classic slates left for the Premier League season. We've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the huge one on Sunday when we finally get some actual concurrent games. But this one on Tuesday is a little messy for like 1,000 different reasons.
Well, I mean, at least it's more concurrent than most slates. So, I mean,
That's
we should
true.
at least say it's that. But I don't think since I've been playing DFS, we've entered like the last two games of the season where nearly no one has anything to play for. I mean, it's Chelsea, it's Leicester, it's Liverpool. Man United, I mean, I guess could drop into third and have to get into the earlier Champions League qualifying round, but does that matter? All three, we already know what three teams are going to be relegated, so they're kind of just playing it out. But we say that every year, like, oh, half these games don't matter, and then they still play their starters, and it's just still a game. But yet there are some teams that are still in Europe for their finals.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to obviously staying in fitness, in game form, and also resting people for that game. But on this 5-game slate, that's two of the teams.
4-game slate.
4-game slate, yes.
We couldn't even get a fifth. Yeah, I think so Man City like heavily rotated this past weekend, and Pep said on Monday, that like Ederson was going to play the last two games and that they'll probably like play everyone. I just assume at this point we just rely heavily on the betting odds that like maybe they have an insight into who's playing. Like if you see a heavily rotated side, then the betting odds probably reflect that beforehand. But
the odds have gone up.
Which ones?
The Man City odds.
Yeah, Man City has.
Right, but only slightly. I mean, okay, so the odds on that game is the Man City are away, minus 203 currently against Brighton. The total is 2 3/4, which is kind of low for a Man City game. And then we have Man United at home, minus 272 currently. That's a 3 total. Then we have Chelsea at home, minus 133. That's a 2 1/4 total against Leicester. And then Leeds and Southampton. Southampton's home barely. I mean, it's a pick 'em. Leeds are plus 150. Southampton plus 169. That's the highest total game, 3 1/4. But I mean, some of the books have it the other way, but it's nearly even. It's nearly a pick 'em game. The only game that matters on the slate really is Leicester-Chelsea. I mean, that's probably the biggest game of the season for both these teams. And they literally just played. They just played the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
And Leicester won. But as far as qualifying for Champions League, this is going to matter because it's going to be a race between Leicester, Chelsea, and Liverpool on who gets the last 2 spots.
Yep.
But to me, from the pricing and how everything stands out, it's the lowest total game. That's probably the least appealing DFS game on the slate.
I felt the same way. Like I assume that one. I mean, the odds tell you to stay away from it just in terms of the implied goal total, but just with everything that it feels like one of those games that like neither team wants to lose, and so they're not going to be overly aggressive. Chelsea obviously has the Champions League final that if they lose this game, if they don't make the top 4, but they win the Champions League, but you don't really want to rely on that since you're playing Man City. The Man United game really doesn't mean anything, but they seem to be priced as if all the starters are playing. So that I feel like the Man City line kind of implies that they're sitting some people, but they're still decent away favorites. But
at least get the United lineup first,
right?
Like it's quite possible. Like we're not going to get to the Man City Brighton lineups because they're really good at like 60 minutes before. We're not going to get it like 2 minutes early or something.
No,
like the slate is going to you're going to have to lock in guys from the first 2 games before that Man City lineup comes out. Chelsea at Leicester. At least we can pretty much predict their lineups because if they're playing full strength sides, I mean, the game matters. So there's not going to be rotation in that game. But from the pricing on DraftKings, to me, the most interesting game is actually the game that has like absolutely no implications whatsoever, and that's Leeds Southampton.
Yeah. You could play a lot of guys from both sides. I think you're more likely just to play a bunch of Leeds because they're better fantasy options. But yeah, I agree with that one. The possibility of getting stuck with Man City, and like you may be able to get, there may be some leaked lineup a few minutes before their game locks, but it's not going to be enough. Like if you can make those types of decisions within 1 minute of the slate locking at 1:00 Eastern, then go nuts. But I don't know. The Man City situation seems like a stay away. Although Man City becomes more reasonable if Man United plays nobody. If they rotate Bruno out and all those guys, then it's like, well, you kind of have the money
salary to pay for whoever you want now, right? Exactly. Yeah. I think a lot of the key to Man City, I know we'll go position by position, is whether or not they rest Kevin De Bruyne.
I'm assuming he gets rested.
Okay, but if he starts, I still don't want to play him.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he goes 90 if he starts, and then if he starts, he's going to take away value from anyone else on Man City. So why would I play anyone on Man City? Yeah. I mean, like it's one of those situations where I think with KDB out of the lineup, their projected starting 11 that we have here on RotoWire, like I'm not enthralled to play any of these players. Like I could play Mahrez, I could play Foden, I could play Gundogan or Silva or one of the fullback or the Cancelo or something. But at their prices, like, am I sure that any of these guys are going 90?
No.
We have 3 other games that we could choose from. And but if you put KDB in this mix, it's like, well, I'm not going to play KDB. And then he's going to take away all the value from Mahrez or Foden or Silva or any of the guys in the lineup that are already 6,700, 7,000, 8,000. That I almost feel like you do, no matter what the lineup is, you don't have to prioritize Man City.
Yeah, that's it. That's how I feel about it. You don't need to prioritize them, which Man City against Brighton sounds crazy that you're not like, oh, give me all the Man City, but we still have Man United against Fulham. We'll have that lineup. I don't know. I think you can make the argument that even if we had all the lineups at the same time, you still don't have to prioritize Man City.
Right. But that also makes the forward slot is probably the most interesting slots for this slate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great GPP slate.
Yeah. At
the forward slot. And the opportunity cost at midfield is going to be very high.
Yep.
Because at the basically at forward, it's this could be a semi dinky do slate.
Semi
dinky do.
Okay.
But it depends on what you do with your second defender spot. We'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one I want to play it forward because Rafinha has lost set pieces, right?
Seems to have
at least.
Or he does have significantly smaller.
Right, but he does have open play value.
Mm-hmm.
We have Rafinha at 8,800. We have Mahrez at 8,400. I'm not opposed. If salary wasn't an option, I just give me those two and let me fill out the rest of my lineup. And then you see, no, if I'm going to pay 8,000, it's going to be for midfielders.
Right.
It's not going to be for these guys. So then you start scrolling down and you go, okay, Gross against Man City. That's probably a nah wave. Lookman, if he starts against Man United, I don't want to play any of the underdogs, really. And then you start scrolling, and then you're at the bottom.
You're at the bottom, yeah.
Right. You're just well, then who do I play? And then what I get attracted to, at the mid range, is guys that have open play, that you're scared of their floor, you're scared of their floors, but they're active. So someone like Pulisic. especially on Chelsea and Leicester, because at least we know that they got to play.
They got to play.
Right. I don't mind Bernardo Silva, although I'm not enamored about paying $6,700 for him if he's even in the starting lineup. But like Bamford at $6,100, like the floor is scary low.
Yeah, it is.
But for the goal scoring odds, I mean, he has one of the higher goal scoring. He's plus 143, and he's 6,100.
Where was that? Yeah.
Right, you don't like it, but I mean, in comparison to most of the other players, I mean, you take a look in that range. You also have like Rodrigo.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really like Rodrigo actually, at least because he's 5,500. Like,
yeah, but Bamford's only 600 more.
That's true.
But Rodrigo's has a higher floor.
Mm-hmm.
Bamford obviously has a higher ceiling. But to me, I look in this range and I go, I almost would rather play. I mean, to be fair, you can make a lineup where you're playing Rodrigo, and if he starts, I'm assuming Tella at 4,100.
Yep.
And you're not going to be happy with the floors on these guys, but like, what's the difference between the floor? Like, how much more am I getting with Rafinha or Mahrez for twice as much in the forward spots? And then in the mid range, you have guys like Greenwood, Rashford, Ings, Adams, if he starts, depending, like I'm not like, what am I getting? I'm getting better goal scoring ceilings, but I'm not improving my floor for cash games at all. So it almost feels like I'm just paying for just like, okay, I hope he gets a goal type of thing.
I think the floor difference between Mahrez and Rafinha versus Tella is double. Right,
the floor difference, right.
Yeah. I'm saying like you're paying half, but I think you're getting half the floor.
Right, but it allows you to get 3 midfielders and 2 defend. I mean, basically you play Tella and Rodrigo, and the rest of the lineup is, you're at a candy store. Play wherever you want. Now, do you play one? Like, how about a lineup where you're playing like Mahrez, Rodrigo?
Yeah.
Well, then you have to punt somewhere, and I think that's going to be more of the likely build.
Yeah, I don't think you have
to pay up twice at defender.
Agreed. I don't think people are going to pay up twice or pay down twice at forward.
Right.
I think they're just going to look at the 2 guys and they're going like, I'm going to be dead.
Right. I think it's going to be an up and down at forward. Yes. Based on the projected lineups.
Do you think more people play Rafinha than Mahrez?
I don't think so. I think just name value, Man City, bigger favorite. No KDB probably in the lineup. Although they go around, it's not like anyone ever has a set piece monopoly on Man City. It'll be Foden, Gundogan, and Mahrez splitting in some fashion, and it's not going to even matter, right?
Yeah.
The one that's going to go under-owned for GPP is going to be Werner.
Who?
Werner.
Oh, yeah.
If he starts.
Yeah.
Right.
I won't play him. So
no, me neither.
There's some.
Just saying. So at midfield, do you just plug in Bruno? I mean, is he necessary?
Yeah, I think you do plug him in.
Okay. He's the highest goal scoring odds on the slate.
Right.
He's a midfielder.
Right. Yeah, I think if you're hesitant on Man City at all, it just becomes easy to play Bruno.
Right. How about Mount?
I think he's fine. I think from a floor perspective, Ward-Prowse is better.
Right, of course. To me on this slate, I feel extremely safe. Just 8,600, plug in Ward-Prowse. Whatever fits around him is fun. Like to me, I consider him the top play on the slate.
He could
from
be
a cash perspective.
right.
There's no question marks. Right. The dude has a near set piece monopoly. He has a set. Well, Bertrand's not in. He has a set piece monopoly, and he plays 90 minutes. And it's a pick'em game. They're at home. Like, just give me 15 points. Just give me. Just plug that in right there. To me, the wild card team is Leeds. How they line up and who's in the lineup, and whether or not we use recent evidence to determine who to play.
I think.
Are we playing Harrison or Dallas?
I actually. Do you not have Tielemans in that group?
I'm just talking about Leeds right now. Well, we'll talk about the. There's a lot of midfielders to talk about, and they're all in the good. This is why you want to spend up at midfield.
Mm-hmm.
But like on Leeds, like is Dallas at 6,100, Harrison at 8,000, Rafinha's at the forward slot, also midfield eligible, 8,800. We've seen in the past games that Rafinha's been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he played he played and Dallas still took corners.
Yeah, no, I think from a floor perspective, you play Dallas.
Okay.
I think the salary savings and Harrison is like a fake high floor player.
Fake high floor?
Yeah, like he's his distribution looks like this. But it eventually, in an average you're okay. Like he's a very volatile floor player. And Dallas isn't. Dallas is much more consistent. So I think he's the safer one.
Right. And Dallas almost always plays 90.
Right. But Harrison's upside is significantly higher, as we saw literally yesterday, 2 days ago.
Then the Leicester players, boy, the mighty have fallen.
I mean, there's no way you play Madison.
Well, not without set pieces, you can't.
Right.
Remember Madison for two and a half, 3 years? We saw Madison a year ago when he was 7,500 in a pit. And again, who cares if they're a slight underdog? Like you just jam him in. I mean,
it was like 2 months ago. We would have locked him in
2 months ago. Yeah, but if Tielemans is going to be taking Tielemans and all Brighton, like Madison kind of he got injured and then comes back to no set pieces, which seems so odd to me.
Yeah.
Seems like he sees that. Why wouldn't? I mean, why shouldn't he be the one on set pieces? Yeah. Is Tielemans that good?
He's very good. I think the real conversation that you have to have with yourself is, do I want a set piece taker from a team playing in a game that they absolutely have to win, or one that in a game that means absolutely nothing? Like, I think it's basically Dallas or Tielemans.
No, you think so? No, I don't think so at all. I think you play Dallas regardless.
Oh, so now you're deciding Tielemans or Ward-Prowse, or Tielemans or Bruno?
You're deciding Tielemans in your third midfield spot or someone else. I would put I would rank Tielemans not on top of either of those two.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of playing road underdogs on a 4-game when we have options. If this was a smaller slate, sure, but we have other options.
I think that's more of a concern if they're 8,500.
Sure, but I mean, 6,800. I mean, yes, he's been active, but I mean, this is what teams have he played? Okay, 14 against Man United, Newcastle, Southampton, Crystal Palace, West Brom, West Ham, Sheffield, Brighton. I mean, they haven't had much.
Yeah, that doesn't show the FA Cup final either.
I don't know. If you took the name, you took the stats, you took everything out, which is probably a bad thing to do. But you took everything away and just said, it's the third highest dog on a 4-game slate, and it's a 7K set piece take. Like, why aren't I playing Gundogan?
If you saw all those stats and took all the names and everything away, you would say that was Madison 2 months ago.
You're right. Right. Which makes a good point. Right. Because if it was Madison from 2 months ago and he was 7,500 against Chelsea, I'd be like, you could play him. Like I wouldn't, but I still wouldn't be saying jam him in.
That's fair.
Right. Just like with Gross. I'm just not going to play teams that are that big of an underdog when they're not going to get as many set pieces for even them to take set pieces.
Yeah.
But the problem on this slate, though, is that, underneath this, like, what cheap midfielders are there? You're not playing Calvin Phillips anymore.
No.
If you play a cheap midfielder, you're just going to the bottom and whoever's in. Who'd you pick? You're playing as a punt. You're just doing it to punt. You're playing content. Yeah. You're playing, Carvalho is not even a defender, so you can't even play him. It's midfield only.
You just got to hope for Man United rotation. You get Juan Mata at 3,300.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to jam him in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's no one down here worth taking. I mean, there's who?
It's defensive midfielder. It's the
right.
Conte.
But if you're going to be taking someone like that, you just might as well go to the bottom and whoever the lowest active midfielder, just pay $3K for whoever's in. Or a favored side, or Southampton or Leeds, whoever the cheapest guy, just play that guy.
No, well, I agree with that idea, but if you're really doing that, do it in the forward spot.
Right. Well, yeah, that's
the point we're making.
But that's right. You play Tella.
Don't scroll to the bottom.
Tella in the utility spot. That would make no sense.
Right. Like don't scroll to the bottom and fill a midfielder spot and fill a utility with a midfield spot.
Right. Go to the lowest forward that's eligible and just play that guy.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Like you said, the opportunity cost in midfield is just too high to waste it like that.
Right. And it's not a 3 defender build.
No.
There's really only one defender worth playing.
I mean, I think lineups.
I mean, if it was a year ago and I told you this is the only defender worth playing, I'll always make a say. It's like, how do we get to this point? You just plug in Luke Shaw. We're done, right?
Yeah. I mean, my only other thing was to say that if somehow Telles gets the start, you play him.
Okay. But whoever starts at left back.
The United left back.
Right. You just play them. Right. What the hell's going on with Chelsea? Is Reece James do you play I can't trust.
I think that's the problem.
Right. You can't trust it. Right. I mean, like you could play Chilwell. I think he's overpriced at 5,800 now. Revenge game, although he's already played against Leicester plenty of times.
Yeah, a few times. Yeah.
Like Reece James is 5,200 and Aspilicueta is 4,500. One of them will be a center back. Who knows which one it's going to be?
Right.
Who knows which one's going to be in the middle of the game?
I think they've shown
a priority either way. If you told me Aspilicueta was going to be playing a right wing back, 4,500, I'm like, okay, it's viable.
Yeah, I don't think you need it.
Right. I think you're playing Luke Shaw, and then you're scrolling all the way down, and you're playing for 2,600. You're playing Salisu, who's not. You're gonna say, oh, look, a fullback for 2,600. And then you're gonna look and you say, oh, he really doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, the guy I looked at was Lindelof at 2,800 because I think he has better clean sheet odds, but that's it.
Right, or Bailey.
Or Bailly, yeah.
Right, he's 2,600.
Yeah.
Right, because Maguire's out.
Yep.
And they're the biggest favorites on the slate, United.
Right.
So, but I mean, you're playing for a clean sheet floor and a headed goal ceiling.
Yeah. Bailly has an incredible skill of finishing with less than 1 point in 90 minutes.
Yeah, because he gets yellow cards.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Right.
But yeah,
I think he learned that from when Cavani joined the team.
Yeah.
But Salisu should start for Southampton as a fullback. Pseudo,
yeah.
Pseudo fullback. But I mean, I compare these guys to anyone in between, anyone else. Right? Ailing, 4,900, whatever. Zinchenko or whoever starts, if it's not Cancelo, okay, whatever. Alioski, whatever. I mean, who are we playing?
The other problem with the Chelsea situation is that they're the late game. So like,
right. So you're not even going to know.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it's a priority, even if we did know. I'm more likely to get 3 8K midfielders in.
Right.
Than get 2. Because Shaw's number 1. So what am I going to do? Put Shaw, Reece James, and then where do I go? I have to sacrifice one of the high-priced midfielders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not playing any of the underdog defenders. Not when we have center backs for the biggest favorite that under 3K.
Yep. I think, there's no reason to play those guys.
Right.
Do you pay up for goalie?
I mean, you can.
We have Man United. Like the clean sheet odds are actually pretty similar. I wouldn't trust the Chelsea ones.
Yeah, pretty similar across between all 3 favorites.
Yeah. I mean,
whoever you want. I mean, Man United obviously have the higher win.
Yep.
Percentage. Is De Gea going to start that game?
Well, no.
Last home game? I think it's the last home game, right?
Well, no.
Well, what's the game that they play on Sunday? Is that at home?
Isn't
he gone? Isn't he gone? He's not going to be there anymore.
I didn't think he was gone, but I don't know.
He could be. He might as well be.
Yeah, they're away on Sunday.
Okay, so this could be the last Man United home game for De Gea. So yeah, maybe they start him. Get a $100 discount. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, no, his contract's not up.
Oh, he should be.
Yeah, he just wants to leave.
Right.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if I'm paying up, I'm going to pay up for Henderson or De Gea.
Right. But if you're paying down based on what we've been talking about, that Man City may not be a priority, you play Sanchez. The cheapest home keeper with a team that you may not have any pieces of.
Yeah, but we don't have no pieces of it because we don't think they're going to blast them.
Yeah, but you're talking about from a qualitative perspective. At least that nothing in your lineup goes against each other.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. I have to make up some reason. Because I mean, look, what are you going to play? Shaw? You're going to play Shaw and Fernandez and play Areola and just hope he gets 7 million saves and it's a 0-0 game? Like you don't it negatively correlates against Bruno and Shaw. So
no, I think you just find the 300 for Schmeichel over Sanchez.
Okay, you could do that. But we're talking about goalkeeper. What does it matter? If you play the dinky do, you could just pay up for whatever goalkeeper you want. But I don't think people are. I think people are going to do. Let me take a look. If Rodrigo is in, give me Rodrigo. Okay, I'm going to do this thing. Probably going to end up with the same damn lineup that you have. Right? Maybe not. Maybe not. That guy in, but okay.
What does that guy game and this guy?
This guy and that guy. Put in Luke Shaw. Put in this dude here.
I mean, the dinky D gets you whatever you want, and so
not in whatever you want. I can't pay up 3 times at midfield.
Well, you can with Rodrigo and Tella.
Oh, Rodrigo and Tella. I was going for the Mahrez.
Oh yeah,
with Rodrigo.
That one gets a little tighter.
Right. Yeah, you can't even play. Yeah,
you got to hope for Alex Telles. That's all.
Oh no! Now I forgot who I didn't have in. Okay, so you could do that. You could play that, and then goalkeeper would be Sanchez. Yeah, Sanchez. Right in that spot. Right. Okay. But if you don't play Mahrez and you play Tella, you could. I mean, you could play everyone.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even think it's going to be that popular of a build. So I don't think it's necessary. So who are you going to do? You're going to dump Dallas, and you're going to play who? Mount?
Well, dump Dallas if you do what?
If you go from Mahrez down to Tella.
Oh, you play Tella and Rodrigo?
It's a $4,000. I mean, you're paying up a goalkeeper and you have money left over. Or you're just not paying you're paying up for a second defender.
That's what you're doing.
which I seem pointless.
I don't agree.
Right.
With
For cash games. Of course, all we're talking about is for like median lineups, not obviously you do the complete opposite build for GPPs. Do you think Shaw's going to be the highest owned player on the slate?
No, I think it's Bruno.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with all the options that we have?
Yeah. People love playing Bruno. They love it.
Yeah, but who are you playing at defender? You need two defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Who are people? Where's all this ownership at defender going to go?
I'm just not sure I see the reason to play three midfielders and not have Bruno. Not to say Shaw's not going to be high. I think they'll both be high.
Look how many midfielders there are. You could play so many midfielders. You could play Rashford at a midfield spot. I mean, you could play forwards in midfield spot. I'm just saying there's more choices. At defender, it's like, who do I play? Luke Shaw and Uck.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
I mean, that's why I just assume he would be the highest owned. Set piece taking defender with the defender pool that like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where's it going to go? Nowhere.
He'll definitely be the highest defender. Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. I think he's going to be the highest owned player in general.
Okay.
Or maybe this means if everyone loves Bruno, then you fade Bruno. I think for GPP, that's what I would do.
I mean, I think the Man City stack in GPP goes under-owned.
Right. Which is weird to say because typically they go over-owned.
Yeah.
Now, what you do is you play to me, the under-owned guys are like who's playing Ings?
That game has the highest total, though. Like, I think.
Oh, but I mean, does anyone? Oh, yeah, people play Ings for no reason, so
yeah,
they'll play him here, right?
It's the Che Adams Nathan Redmond combo. Nobody's going to play, and you'll come in last.
Probably for good reason. Who's playing Vardy or Iheanacho? No one. We always say no one, like it's going to be 0%.
Right?
they're going to be owned, but just low owned.
Yep.
Because if no one plays them, that means you screwed up. Like if you legitimately open up your locks and you see 0.01%, that means they died and no one told you. You missed something on Twitter.
Right.
Which is what happened the last time. Thank you. The RotoWire Discord is invaluable. You don't promote it. One? That message at 3 minutes when you saw James was out. Was scratched or whatever. So I had him in my lineup, as did a lot of people.
I was gonna say,
what the hell? Who the hell's messaging me on the RotoWire, the Discord? Who's bothering me 3 minutes to lock with
who tags everybody?
Then I saw here James scratched. I'm like, oh, get him out! Right? I only have one lineup, so I did like, okay, how do I play all the Gilfy? How do I play Gilfy? How do I fill Gilfy Sigurdsson? And he's only midfield eligible, so now I'm moving stuff around, but still like a third of the field got stuck with James.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have bothered. It's happened so infrequently.
Yeah.
That it was the day
it was the blackout
Premier
day.
League, the blackout day on social media. So the people ask, how did you find out? RotoWire Discord. Andrew Laird coming in. How the hell did you find out? That's
right.
Would you have a birdie at the stadium? Legitimately, how did you know?
I was on the Everton website. They have like a game tracker,
right?
And that was not part of the social media blackout.
Oh, so they put like a little news item or something?
Yep.
Imagine if you weren't on the website.
That's why you pay for a RotoWire subscription.
Right.
Right there.
Right, saving money. It made up for. I mean, I cashed that. I mean, the third of the field, my double ups had a 0 from James.
Mm-hmm.
I made money that slate that I would have lost. That disc. I mean, what? It's $5 a month or what? I mean, it's stupid cheap. That notification paid for like 5 years of RotoWire. I mean, really, it did from my RotoWire membership. That that one notification. Probably cost, save me $400 or $500. Right.
That's about 5 years worth. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So there's the selling point.
That was it. If anybody's interested in a RotoWire subscription, you can just go to rotowire.com/subscribe and you can see all of our, all of our plans that are available there. If you'd like to try us out for free for 10 days, no credit card required, just go to rotowire.com/soccer trial. Gets you access to all the sports we cover, as well as that subscriber Discord that Jordan was just talking about. If you are already a subscriber but haven't joined the Discord, which seems silly at this point, but just go to rotowire.com/chat to join in that. Jordan, thank you for that, and good luck on Tuesday.
Try RotoWire today, free for 10 days. Get our premium tools, rankings, analysis, and breaking news alerts. No credit card required. Go to rotowire.com/try.